David, you have a piece from Dave Burkett, the Freep. This is what I mean when I get so upset at national media that really has no idea what the hell's going on here. And again, I'll take my shots at the Lions, but I also will stick up for you when I think it's fair to do, and this is one. David, please, step to the lectern that Rico has provided and present this.
Yeah, so Dave Burkett wrote a piece on Detroit Free Press. Steve Smith, NFL Network analyst, he spoke. And
former Panther receiver, for those of you out there.
Yes, and he spoke, and he's not believing in the actual culture change that they speak about in Detroit. But he starts off here, quote, "We need to stop upping our standards for players and lowering our standards for coaches." That is a result of him, the video that everyone's seen of Aubrey Pleasant, the coach, yelling at Okudah.
Noted bad football player, Jeff Okudah.
So he continues to say, we need to have them on the same playing field. Then he continues to saying that he doesn't believe in a culture change. He says, man, I don't believe in that culture change they keep barking about. It's worse. Their actions don't follow through, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. We question teams' ability to play well every year. Well, part of their ability to play well is what they're getting fed psychologically, not just football knowledge.
He also said it's a train wreck waiting to happen,
yes,
and I'm sitting there, got my popcorn, waiting for it. All right.
And he also called it a bleep show.
Yes,
correct.
He did.
So here's the deal. To say that anyone has changed the culture in one game, in their first game as a coach, I think is absurd. I think it's absurd to say it's changed. I think it's absurd to say it hasn't changed. Now, if we were getting reports out of Lions camp, like we were when Patricia took over, that it was a bleep show, that veterans were revolting, and then the team came out and lost 48-17 to a bad Jets team with a rookie QB, it's a different conversation. This team is bad. Aubrey Pleasant was doing his job lighting up Okudah. Now, players have come out and said, all right, enough's enough. All right, everyone's got a different relationship with Coach Pleasant. This is the case of a national media member taking the easy road with the Lions. They're an easy target. And the best thing you can do is, look, there are a lot of ways. If your goal is to make fun of the Lions, they're like the produce aisle. There's all different kinds of options. Mm-hmm. You'll never run out of fruit and vegetables, more than you can ever eat. But you don't need to create a new fruit or vegetable, something the grocery store doesn't have, and go with that. That's what Steve Smith is doing. Look, it might be a bleep show, but it's going to be a bleep show because they don't have talent. It's not going to be a bleep show because somehow this staff has lost control or is toxic. Jeff Okudah did not do his job. It was a 7-man pressure. He didn't turn and locate. He got discarded like a well, I won't say what I was going to say.
Well, here's the thing.
He got discarded like garbage.
Here's the thing.
Kenny, I was gonna say something a little unsavory, but I don't want to do that.
No. But the fact that I think it was actually a positive thing. I know we live in the day and age now, if you yell at players, you're a bad person. I look at this as a positive. In game number 1, in the first half, you're not doing what we taught in training camp. Okay? You're screwing up. Let's correct this now. Not in game 15 when it's festered. You know what? We've talked about this. We went over this. We went over this in meeting. What part of it didn't you understand? And he called him out. That's what a coach has to do sometime. Give tough love. But I know it makes him look like he's a bad person. How dare you yell at him? You emasculated this man on national TV. No, he yelled at a guy who didn't do his job on the bench. He didn't know the cameras were watching. And you know what? I don't think he cared. Because he had something he had to say, but you're taking it and say, well, it's going to be a bad thing.
We also don't, this is the other problem I have. Every player has a different relationship. Every coach has a different relationship.
I mean,
the cameras aren't supposed to catch everything, and they don't. But when they do, we try to make something bigger than it is. So here's my question to you, the people.
Yeah, it's like we see this every year with Izzo.
Oh, please. Right. And the national media.
Yeah, Gabe Brown's going to leave school. Cutscene. Right. There's Gabe and Izzo all hugged up.
People have no idea about the relationships between players and coach or how the program really works, and then they get up there and they just take the easy road. No, I'm not mad at Aubrey Pleasant. Is that the best way to do things all the time? No. But am I okay with that happening with a young player? Yeah. Now, if you try to do that to Jalen Ramsey, you got no shot.
No, but here's what I like about it is set the tone, Mike. In anything that you do, in the very beginning is when you have to be the hardest, because if you're light and easy early,
that's right.
You've now said it's okay to do this. So in game one, I'm not putting up with this stuff, fellas. Okay, I will bench you if I have to. Go out there and do your job.
248-539-9797. You buying or selling what Steve Smith is burping out there? I'm not. I'll sell it. Hey, this team is going to be bad, but they're going to be bad because they don't have any talent. I'm not going to make any comments about culture. I'm going to give Dan Campbell and staff a lot of grace because they are taking over one of the 3 worst situations in football. From a roster standpoint, they have no outs. This is a terrible roster. And that's on Quinn and Patricia, who are going to go down in history every bit as bad as Matt Millen. Maybe worse. So you tell me. I just get tired of the national media not knowing what's going on, and yet they get to control most of the narrative. That's very frustrating to me. You know, Aubrey Pleasant is trying to resurrect a kid's career. I don't know what gets through to Jeff Okudah, because later in the game, Aubrey Pleasant was smiling with him and was hugging him. So, again, if Steve Smith had paid attention, you probably don't deliver this take. But it's not my business how these guys deliver a message and how it's going to be received. Jeff Okudah has been primarily a complete disaster as a player, and now he's hurt. Aubrey Pleasant was doing what he thought was going to get through to that player.
Right.
I'm not there every day. None of us are.
Yeah, and the Lions are watching tape. And like they know that Okudah is not living up to the potential that the team needs him to. So, yeah, when you have somebody who you think can do really well, you are normally harder on that person because expectations are higher for that person.
Or if you know that this is their last shot,
right?
You're trying to get through to them. It's now or never.
Right.
I mentioned to you, even before he got hurt, I said the first quarter of this season will be the rest of his career.
Yeah.
He either bounces back, and in the first 4 games, we're going to be able to say, hey, you know, Okudah's playing okay ball. Or his career's over. This is a new staff. This is a new regime. They have no loyalties to him. Now, his contract may keep him around, but that doesn't mean he starts, and it doesn't mean he's in their future plans. So I could make the case Aubrey Pleasant goes, son, this is it for you.
Right.
And you just started the season giving up an 80 burger and getting discarded like garbage.
That old saying, NFL, not for long.
Well, you also have to take, I'm taking it, putting a factor in here that Aubrey Pleasant wants to be a head coach one day. So I'm sure how well the defensive back plays is about his future as well. So, yeah, he's going to get on his cornerback and yell at him.
But, David, I look at this. This is game 1, new staff. You know your play is suspect. I'm pulling you aside. We went over this. What part of it did you not understand? You're not doing this. I like the fact that they are stepping in day 1, setting a new floor. Guys, unacceptable here.
And I told you, it's the cardinal sin. And I don't want to be too presumptuous. But if you were forcing me to make a guess as to why Aubrey Pleasant was so upset, it's because there was a 7-man pressure. You know, ball's coming out. Your job is to make sure you turn and locate quickly because that pressure call. So when he's screaming, do your bleeping job, that's the job. It's a very specific job based on what was happening in front of him. You know the defensive call. Pressure means you have to be quick in turning. You know that ball's coming out, and he never did. And then he got thrown to the side like a cartoon character.
It looked embarrassing, but here's the other thing. Later in the game, there he is. He grabs him, hugs him, leans in. They bump foreheads together. That tells me, look, it wasn't personal. I'm trying to get the best out of you, son.
And it tells me that Steve Smith didn't see the later exchange.